South Holland. Welcome to Lunch with the Librarian today. Doing something a little different. Today's, well, maybe, it's still pasta. I mean, come on, it's me, so it's going to be carbohydrates because I'm a dirty carbohydrate addict. Today what we're making has very little cooking involved with it. I'm doing a kind of a cold peanut noodle salad. It could be cold, it could be room temperature. It's really, really flexible and it's great for meal prep. And it's vegetarian for Miss Edna, who is not eating meat because it is still Lent. Right now I am boiling a pot of water on the stove and I'm going to cook my noodles. This recipe calls for 12 ounces of whole wheat linguine noodles, but really you can kind of use whatever pasta you like. If it's not whole wheat, it's not that big a deal. This is on sale at Jewel. Whole wheat linguine. So it's about 3/4 of a box, and I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not worried about like measuring or anything. I'm just sort of like using my eyeballs to see if I made enough. On the stovetop is the America's Test kitchen formula for boiling water for pasta is a gallon of water and a tablespoon of salt for a pound of pasta. So actually I'm gonna just make this whole pound, and what I don't use in the recipe I will have for leftovers for another dish, or for just like spaghetti and red sauce, which is my jam. So I'm gonna boil this and come back when it is done and to drain it off and get going on the rest of what I'm doing for this recipe. So I'll see you back here in about, the water is, I mean, it's an electric stovetop, so it's probably gonna take 100 years. But I'll see you back when the pasta is right about done and we can get going on the rest. All right, South Holland, I'm back. The pasta is cooked to al dente, so Italian for to the tooth. You don't want it too mushy. You don't want it hard enough that it like feels like hard and raw on the inside. You just want it like where you have to bite it, but not so that it like dissolves. The pasta is done cooking. It is on the stovetop, and we're gonna move over there in just a minute. This comes together in a skillet, and this peanut noodle salad. So the pasta, the noodles part are done. The rainbow part, I prepped a little while I was waiting for my pasta to cook. And what I have here is an entire red bell pepper that I cut into kind of matchstick pieces. That's called julienne. I didn't go to culinary school. It's not a perfect julienne. But this is a red bell pepper. This is a cup of shredded red cabbage. It comes in a bag like that. Obviously, I only needed a cup. I'll use this in another recipe later on. This is frozen shelled edamame, and that looks like this in the bag. Edamame is it's a Japanese term. These are soybeans, and they're uncooked. They're a really good, like my husband hates peas, so I'll use edamame in place of peas a lot in like pot pie or pot roast or stuff like that. They're really high in protein, which makes them a good thing to add when you are cooking vegetarian or vegan. That protein helps keep you full longer. And then this is a cup of broccoli slaw. And that comes in a bag like this. You could also do a shredded carrot, like a cup of, or like a large carrot. If you really like peppers, you could throw another pepper in. Whatever kind of sounds good to you can go in. These are going to go into a skillet. And I'll show you over here. Here I go with a skillet. You can see the pot with the, with the linguine in it. Here is my skillet. I'm going to turn that on to medium high, and I'm going to add to that a tablespoon of neutrally flavored oil. So canola oil works, or this is olive oil that I just brought from home. I'm going to throw this tablespoon of olive oil in here. I'm using a nonstick skillet, which means I don't necessarily need to use a bunch of olive oil. Not that olive oil is bad for you. Oil sometimes gets a bum rap for being high in fat, but some vitamins are fat soluble, and you need that. When the skillet is hot, all of my vegetables are going to go just straight into it. I'm going to fill just a 1/4 teaspoon with water and bring it over here. When I hear the water start to kind of sizzle, then I'll know, and like evaporate, then I'll know that the pan is hot and ready to go. And that shouldn't take but a couple of minutes. In the meantime, and then the last thing that we're going to do, I'm going to throw these vegetables in just a couple of minutes when the pan is hot. While those vegetables are kind of stir frying, we're going to make the sauce that's going to go over everything. Actually, let's go start that now, friends, because why not? I'm going to make it in this blue bowl that I'm going to use to, sorry, if you are a person who gets motion sick. There we go. So, this recipe for the peanut sauce, peanut is actually really common in Thai food. If you get chicken satay from a Thai restaurant, a lot of times it comes with like a peanut sauce to dip in. This is like that. So the first thing that I'm going to use is, if I can find a 1/2 cup measure, we've got like 100 1/3 cup measures. Okay. So, regular creamy peanut butter, nothing fancy about it at all. Grab a spoon and the nonstick spray. Remember from working with peanut butter before, spraying nonstick spray in the cup makes it easier to come out later. So I brought extra peanut butter from home just in case there was not enough in the jar here. We might actually be okay. You hear that? You hear that? The water kind of popping with the fat in the pan? Ah, perfect. There's our 1/2 cup of peanut butter into the bowl. I'm going to bring you now over to the skillet so that you can see as I kind of dump the vegetables into the pan. There's that red bell pepper. These edamame, which are frozen, but they're small, so they're going to cook really quickly. Like, you're not going to, like, clearly they're not going to be frozen so long. And then, I'm going to give, these guys a toss. You don't necessarily need to like stand over it forever and stir fry it. But I'm gonna go back like every so often and give it a toss. So, I've got my half a cup of peanut butter. Because now I'm back to the sauce. I've got a quarter cup, this is soy sauce. Again, I brought it from home. We buy our soy sauce at Costco, so bringing the whole bottle seemed kind of silly. But it's just regular soy sauce. There's nothing fancy about it at all. The next thing I need is 3 tablespoons of plain water. The water is going to make it easier to stir. So I'll be right back with that. It's not really enough water to like water down the flavor of anything. It's just a few tablespoons. All right. The next thing I need is 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. This is a really neutrally flavored, like people make salad dressing with it all the time. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. You want to get the stuff that is unflavored, because sometimes it does come with garlic flavor or with sesame flavor, and you want to avoid that if you can. Just giving my stir fry another little stir. I need a tablespoon of grated fresh ginger. And I didn't bring ginger. I buy ginger in little jars like this. And that just makes prep a lot faster and easier. Tablespoon of ginger into the pool. I need, got the peanut butter, got the soy sauce, got the water. I need 2 tablespoons of honey. This is the difference between this recipe being vegetarian and vegan. People who are vegan don't eat honey because it is made by bees, and bees are living, and so vegans don't eat honey. If you're not vegan or vegetarian, don't even worry about it. But it's just regular old plain honey. And obviously you can add more if you like your peanut sauce a little on the sweeter side, but I would wait until it's finished. I would wait until you finished making the sauce before you add extra honey, just to see if it is, if the sweetness is to your taste. You can always add later, but you can't take away. Next is toasted sesame oil. You need 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil, which is exactly what you think it is. It tastes like toasted sesame seeds, and it's awesome. You'll be surprised how much sesame flavor comes through on just a little bit of sesame oil. And then 1 clove of peeled garlic. Again, I just buy the garlic in the jar. We go through a lot of it in my house, so this saves us the work. And on the side of the jar, it says 1/2 teaspoon is a garlic clove. And so that's what I'm using. It's 1/2 teaspoon for a garlic clove, and I only need 1. So, and that's it. If you like spicy, you can add sriracha to this, or the kind of red chili flake that you get like at a pizza place. Either one of those can work to spice up the works a little bit if you are a spicy food person. If you are not, don't feel like you need to do that if you don't want to. This is your meal. You get to make it how you want. And I'm just stirring it with a spoon. You don't need a blender. You don't need anything fancy like that. It just kind of is what it is. All right, so here we go. I know it looks kind of weird right now. It looks sludgy a little bit, and that's okay. That's totally fine. Because what we're gonna do last is, I'm gonna bring you over here. There is our skillet full of bell pepper and cabbage and edamame and broccoli slaw, and it looks gorgeous. So, the last thing we're doing, let me grab, I'm so sorry about that awful noise. I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to add my cooked pasta to, these tongs are garbage. But I'm going to add my pasta to the vegetables. 12 ounces of cooked whole wheat linguine, or honestly, whatever pasta you like, whatever you happen to have at home is fine. If it's not long noodles like this, that's okay. I'm adding this in. It's okay if a little bit of the water from the pot gets in. You want to save a little bit of that to the side anyway. And then we're going to add our sauce over top. And give it all a stir. You know what would actually be easier, ladies and gentlemen of the South Holland Public Library? Let me move this back and not be a doofus for a minute. Easier for me to stir everything together in the bowl than it is in the pan. I made a little mess. Anybody who knows me won't be surprised by that. If you used chunky peanut butter, that's fine. If that's what you like and that's what you have, that would be great. Chunky peanut butter is fantastic. If you wanted to add in onion to the skillet, that would also be good. I really kind of hate onion, so I did not do that. That would be super good. Or if you have like green onions or scallions and you wanted to like sprinkle them on top of your dish, you could do that. You could add, if you had sesame seeds for whatever reason, you just wanted to like sprinkle sesame seeds. But really, you're done now. You can eat it just like this, where it's hot and veggie-tastic and peanutty and noodles, and it's vegetarian, and that would be delicious. You could, if you wanted to, put this in the refrigerator and chill it and eat it as a cold salad. Kind of like what you're probably used to thinking about when you think about pasta salad. That works too. If you wanted to add the cooked protein of your choice, so like if you had leftover chicken that you wanted to shred in here, that would be great. Obviously would not be vegetarian anymore. If you had tofu that you wanted to add in, like cube that up and saute it, that would be good too, and keep it vegetarian. You can add all kinds of things. Obviously hot sauce, sriracha would probably be the most harmonious for this dish, but that's it. 12 ounces of noodles, boil it, a bell pepper, a cup of cabbage, a cup of broccoli slaw, a carrot maybe, a cup of edamame. Everybody in the skillet hangs out for a little bit, and then your sesame, peanut, garlic, ginger sauce over everything else. I know what I'm having for lunch today, and if you have this for lunch this week, please let me know how it goes. The recipe will be linked in the post as always, and this video is with all of the other Lunch with the Librarian videos archived on the South Holland Youth Services web YouTube page. So thanks for cooking with me today. I look forward to finding out how this went for y'all, and I will see you next week. Have a great